Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt with Matt's Rants. Today is August 28th, 2018. And on this video, what I want to do is I want to talk about Donald Trump's Art of the Deal. This book right here. And I just finished this book. I started in about late May, late May, early June-ish. And basically, this is the book that did it for me. This is the book that essentially got me on the Trump train, and I have not turned back. It all started when Kyle Kashuv, one of the Parkland survivors, who's more on the conservative side, he posted on Twitter a tweet from Trump's Art of the Deal. Now, I saw that tweet and I was like, all right. So what I did is, and what I typically like to do is, I try to research and read as many different sides of an issue as I can. I try to not just pick one side without actually researching all the facts. So, and I also very strongly believe, Sun Tzu's Art of War. Know your enemy. If you know your enemy and know yourself, then never in 1,000 battles will you ever lose. Now, with that being said, what I did was I took a gamble. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna give Trump's. I'm gonna see what this man says. Every news outlet is trying to tell you this and that of what he said, but I'd rather hear straight from him. When I started reading this book, and I saw the things that he said, the way that he would think, I thought to myself, I get it. I get it. This man knows what he's doing. He completely knows what he's doing. Everything on the campaign trail was calculated. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. He knew what he was doing. First of all, he is a master of publicity and of promotion. He knew that by saying sort of what might not be politically correct things, got attention. And even I actually had a friend say this to me one time, and I know it's out there, but bad publicity is good publicity. And if you're saying stuff, even if you don't like it, you're going to get that publicity. And that's what was going on. All these networks were just constantly putting Trump out there, and what they didn't realize is that they were promoting him. So, and one thing that he does talk about in the book is he says, sometimes you got to play the wild card, which is he's done throughout his career, very much so. And that's what he's been doing now. Sometimes you do got to be that crazy out there kind of guy or person to get that attention, to get that spark. You know what I'm saying? I get that now. There's so much in this book that I wish I could go over. But I can't, because it wouldn't be. But I just like to highlight a couple things. One thing he says, the worst thing you could possibly do in a deal is seem desperate to make it. Which is great advice. If you're trying to make a deal with somebody, you don't want to come off like you really want to make a deal, because then you're going to give them leverage. The reason why I also like and trust Trump now is, first of all, he's done a lot of things. Like he's had to go through so many legal channels to get his casinos going, to get tax abatements for his buildings in New York in the 70s in particular. And so he knew that things, and this is one thing I've been learning too in my own private life, is that some things, they take a lot of time. Especially if you're trying to do something like file something in court or whatever, they take time. You have to play, the game of wait. So that's one thing that he's done a lot, and I know that he's a master at that now. Same thing, like what he did was the woman rink part. What he showed, and a lot of people don't realize this, right? The woman rink, skating rink in New York City, right? It took 6 years for New York City to build this really, at the time too, not even very well thought out ice skating rink, and it didn't even get finished. And Trump, he just said, forget this. And what he did was that he cut a deal with the city, and he put his own money into building the rink. And then not only did he get the rink done in the time that he said, he was actually in a shorter time and under budget, which proved that private business, private entities are much more efficient than government. Government is so filled with bureaucracy and incompetency, especially because people in the government can't get fired. I would love to see a law one day, God willing, that people in the government should be able to be fired. You cannot reward incompetency. You're taking up time, you're taking up money, and it's all on the taxpayer's dime. So that he proved that. Another thing that we talk about is he learned a lot from his dad. He learned a lot from being in New York. Here's a quick one. The sort of wealthy people we were competing for don't look for bargains in apartments. They may want bargains in everything else, but when it comes to a home, they want the best, not the Best Buy. By pricing its apartments lower than ours, Museum Tower had and announced that it was not as good as Trump Tower. So he was doing like a bunch of competition with other buildings out there, and at the time, like sometime in the 80s, and his apartments were like the best of the best, like very lavish, very expensive, and people were trying to undercut him. But what he's saying here is that essentially when I say undercut, they were trying to go a lower price. But by going lower price, then basically the competitor is saying that we're not as good as this other apartment building complex, or what Trump had to offer. Hence, Trump had the better, basically, apartments, and he did. I mean, he was able to fill all his buildings up. I mean, he had people, waiting to get in. There's so much in this book to learn from about art dealing and negotiation, and just how to deal with people in a business setting. I tell you what, this book has totally inspired me to embrace the entrepreneurial spirit, to really get out there and put myself out there and chase that money and chase the American dream. Trump shows you that the dream is still alive. Look what's going on. We got all this money coming back right now because of all the deals and the trade deals and the tax cuts and everybody coming back and bringing business back. There's so much money. People who are hating on Trump don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even want to look into what this man has to say. Now, a common thing when I try to tell people is, oh, read his book, Art of the Deal. Oh, he had a ghostwriter. And the ghostwriter went out on New York Times and said, talked all this bad stuff. But don't listen to that. Like, that's just somebody who doesn't want to research doesn't want to research. They don't want to think for themselves. They just want to be told what to think. Those people are the 9-to-5ers. Those are the government contractor types. They don't want to listen. You know what I'm saying? There's different kinds of people out there. There's people who want to hustle, who want to get that money, who want to be an entrepreneur. And then there's people who just want everything. They just want to show up and do what they want to do and la la la. And that's it. I am not the latter. I am the former. I want to get out there. I want to get it. I don't want to work for people anymore. I want to work for myself. I'm trying to get out of that game, and it's going to take me a while, but I know I could do it, and this book started it all. I got other books of his. They are Trump's Think Like a Billionaire. Everything you need to know about success in real estate. I started reading that. Really good information on how to save your money, how to make your money work for you, how to pinch pennies, that kind of stuff. And another one, Trump, Never Give Up. How I Turn My Biggest Challenges into Success. Also started reading this. Really great stuff. Man, this man knows what he's talking about. He's running the country. He's running like a business. He is going to he's going to win 2020, and he's going to, in 8 years, have this country turned around, and it's going to be for the better. So, definitely get a chance. Find Trump's Art of the Deal. Read what this man has to say and think. By the way, on ghostwriters, one last thing. People say, oh, he has ghostwriters. In fact, none of the books that he has, they're all written by a ghostwriter. But the thing about a ghostwriter is, the ghostwriter is a writer who helps encapsulate and express the voice and the feelings and sentiments of the person they're writing the book with, right? Let's take a look at Trump. Trump had these ghostwriters. He's a very busy guy. He doesn't have this time to sit down and write a book. So, and I haven't delved too much into this, so you may want to double check yourself. But basically, he has these people following him around, and he's talking. And there's very likely a tape recorder These are what things that ghostwriters do. And he's talking, and then the ghostwriter takes the audio and sort of types it all up. And then in the end, what Trump or a person who, anybody else, they read the book and they say, all right, yeah, this is good. This captures my voice. And then here we have these books. It doesn't make what's in it any less valid. Everything in this is public record. Everything it happened. There's proof out there. So take a look at this book. Read for yourself. Don't follow the haters. Anyways, thanks for sticking around watching another video of Matt's Rants. I'm going to do more book reviews at some point. Different things. I'm an avid reader. I love to read. And I will be reviewing different books here and there. So, as well as doing my independent journalism that I'm trying to do. Also, check out my band Pussy Talk. You can find it at facebook.com/pussy Talk the Band, PSSY Talk the Band. Same on Instagram, PSSY Talk the Band. Also, SoundCloud, Pussy Talk the Band. I'm Matt with Matt's Rants. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see y'all next time. Did you hear me? Alright, enough fucking around.